The holidays are approaching, which can often bring stress at home and in the workplace. Answering your questions for today's Tuesday Tips of Advice, we of course have relationship expert Dr. Patty Ann Tublin. It's always great to have you with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ready for the first question?
Bring it on.
All right, this is from Bradley in Wolcott. My entire company spends half, if not more, of the workday in meetings. This drives me crazy because it doesn't leave me enough time to get my actual work done. This happens a lot. Any suggestions?
Well, Bradley, that's a great question, and I cannot tell you how often I hear people exasperated that they spend most of their workday or most of their work days in meetings. So I have a couple of suggestions, and I'd like you to take them because I know they'll work. First thing is, talk to the powers that be and ask them if they will create a policy, and if they won't, just ask your department. Create a policy where whoever sets up the meeting, whoever calls the meeting, must have a very specific agenda tied to the meeting. So you don't just show up at a meeting wondering what you're going to meet about, okay? So for example, say you're planning a conference event in next year. So you have the meeting set up with the agenda, what will be the logistics for the location, the venue of the meeting. Very specific.
So you actually set an agenda. Here's what we're talking about. Be prepared.
Specific, very specific. And then only invite the people that need to be present to fulfill that agenda. So the entire team involved with the conference might not need to be there for planning the venue location, right?
Yes.
Make sense?
It makes sense, but will management listen to that?
Well, even if management doesn't make it a corporate policy, try to make it a policy for your department. But I have another important tip. Whoever sets the meeting and whoever shows up at the meeting, ask them to bring 3 suggestions for how to fulfill the agenda of the meeting. Meaning, people will have done some research at venue locations, cost structure, and bring that to the meeting so that you're not just sitting there and starting to brainstorm on a blank piece of paper. You've already done some of your homework, and it's tied in to the agenda for the meeting.
You have a third tip?
And then finally, start the meeting on time.
Yes.
And end it on time. Because what happens is somebody waltzes in late, and they're like, all right, let's fill so-and-so in. No. Person can be filled in after the meeting, and we all know who calls meetings that start on time or that start or run late because you're like, oh, I have a meeting at 9, but they never start on time. So follow those tips. It'll be very productive, and only invite people to a meeting that need to be there.
All right, but be sure to share that with management and see if you can get them to change their policy.
Great if you can make it a policy.
Exactly.